What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report Weekly News Briefing. It is Sunday, the 10th of May, 2020. Happy Mother's Day to all. As always, the first link below will take you over to the Patreon post. That's where you can find all this week's madness. Let's start off with a look at the official COVID numbers. 4 million worldwide, 279,000 dead. In the United States, looks like we're still just over 1,309,078 dead. Put a link to the official numbers if anybody cares to look. I got all kinds of news. Coronavirus deaths projected to hit 3,000 per day by June. Internal Trump administration analyst says that from CNBC. We got White House coronavirus task force to be wound down around Memorial Day. I thought they were winding it down like right away, but then the president comes out and says because the people like it, because it's popular with the people. I didn't know it was a popularity thing. I'll put a link to this. They're going to keep the coronavirus task force around for a little while. Trump administration will not follow CDC draft recommendations for reopening countries. States are reopening all over the place. We'll see how it goes. The mainstream media is certainly setting us up for the psyop for a second round of more deadly wave, but we'll see what happens. Cuomo says it's shocking most new coronavirus hospitalizations are people who had been staying home. Well, how did they get infected? Maybe the 5-7? I don't know. Put a link to that. Yahoo News puts this out. Scientists say new dominant strain of coronavirus could be more contagious than the original. Oh, great. And U.S. largest supermarket chain to limit ground beef and fresh pork purchases. This from The Hill. Indeed, I was at Sam's Warehouse this week. No meat. The meat section was completely wiped out. White House Deputy Press Secretary rips into CNN, says spreading misinformation designed to cause panic. Yeah, no crap, that from Town Hall. And Flynn, big news this week, the Flynn case was dismissed. Flynn dismissal, a surprise AG bar in sync with Trump. Put a link to this. James Comey lashes out at DOJ leadership after Department drops a case against General Mike Flynn. He is just furious. Put a link to that. A couple more from Breitbart. Election news. AOC says, like Santa Claus, Biden has soothing effect on traditional voters. Like Santa Claus, huh? You mean like pedophilia, or what's she talking about? Breaking, Michelle Obama for vice president is happening now. Registers with the FEC. Joe Biden ain't giving me no soothing nothing. I thought he said he wanted a female vice president. Sorry, I gotta talk kind of quiet. It's the middle of the night. How the U.S. major stock indexes fared on Friday. Over to financial news. Looks like last week the Dow Jones added 455 points on Friday for the week. The Dow picked up 607 points, so up and down with the Dow. Put a link to the financial recap data. CNN says record 20.5 million American jobs lost in April. Unemployment rate soars to 14.7%, almost 15% unemployment in the United States. U.S. deficit nears 1.5 trillion in 7 months, up and away, like anybody's going to pay for it anyway. Meanwhile, Treasury to borrow record 3 trillion in a single quarter. That from The Hill. Pelosi says she is against payroll tax cut in next coronavirus bill. Well, who do you think is going to pay for all this, Nazi Pelosi? And from ABC7, IRS stimulus checks sent to millions of dead people. Here's how to send it back. Not the first time we've seen a story like that. California becomes first state to borrow cash from the federal government to pay unemployment benefits. Yeah, just wait until all these state and local governments start running out of money. You're going to see a whole new level if shit hits the fan. Truck drivers being hit hard suffer largest job loss on record after April bloodbath leaves 88,300 unemployed. Couple more in the financial bin. Warren Buffett's exit airline stocks is a wake-up call for index investors. Jen Kramer, yeah. Warren Buffett pulled completely out of the airlines. Speaking of airlines, GE to slash 13,000 jobs in aviation amid air travel plunge. Put a link to that. Illinois recreational marijuana, however, is doing great. 37 million in April. You want to get high? Put a link to that. And one more. Senator Jack Reed pushes for $8 billion to beef up contact tracing. Well, contact tracing going to be the big thing. Sign up now to snitch on your neighbor. That segues into New World Order police state news. It begins. California official announces program to remove people with COVID-19 from their homes to quarantine centers. I am not making this up. Check this out. Congress.gov HR 6666. COVID-19 testing, reaching, and contact tracing. Contacting everyone. Trace Act. I'll put a link to the legislation. I am not making that up. Yahoo News puts this out. Freedom protests against coronavirus orders leads to arrests in California. Capitol people being arrested all over the place. California to hire thousands of contact tracers as part of reopening plan. What else we got here? State plans to confiscate children if parents test positive for coronavirus. Nice little article here. They got some DHS paperwork there for you. Go buy guns first. John McAfee warns governments are deceiving you about the virus. That from Zero Hedge. From Twitter, it looks like Hannity comes out against armed protesters. He starts talking crap about the militia. Oh, these people with the long guns. You know what, Hannity? If it bothers you, you just keep your ass in your little safe studio there. The people are going to do their thing. Put a link to his thing if anybody cares to watch it. Dr. Fauci says Wuhan virus was likely not created in Wuhan lab that he funded with millions of US dollars. Of course, he's going to say that. Meanwhile, Greater Manchester Police ask residents to snitch on anyone repeating conspiracy theories. Not the first time we've heard that either. Protecting and serving the living shit out of you. This happened out in California. Check this out. Bow, bow, bow. That from KTLA 5. It doesn't give a specific about what that incident was about. But I got another one here out of New York. Did you see this one? Boy, this cop just unloads on this kid. Bear with me here. Let me find the spot. He grabs his taser. This is some and this is all over social distancing. Check it out. Protecting the shit out of you. Look at him, just beating people up. You know, the people of the United States aren't going to take this crap much longer. I got a lot more to give you here. I don't want to get caught up in any one story. 900 Missouri residents who snitched on lockdown rule breakers feel retaliation as their details are leaked online. Yes, right here in my area in St. Louis, they set up a phone line where you can call in and report businesses that were open and report your neighbors if they weren't. Well, their information got leaked. And, you know, not that I'm going to do it myself, but if somebody's house burns down, hey, I don't feel anything for you. You know, if you want to stay inside and protect yourself, protect your family, that's your decision. But the fact you're going to pick up your phone and snitch on someone else because they're living their life, you don't know what circumstances they're living through. Mind your own damn business. Fox 4 KDFW puts this out. Dallas, so this was the big news this week. Dallas Salon owner gets 7 days in jail for reopening in defiance of countywide restrictions. Now, she wasn't going to go to jail, but the judge wanted her to apologize. She said, hell no, I'm not apologizing. She's since been let out of jail after I think the Attorney General got involved. And look at this. Some good news in the police statement. She has nearly $500,000 raised for jailed salon owner. $500,000 in a GoFundMe. So right on, good for her. Invest into business. Over to World War III news. White House. We are not going to forget China's coronavirus culpability. That from Breitbart News. I got all kinds of World War III stuff. U.S. gets dragged into fight as Australia-China war of words escalates. Put a link to this from Fox News. We got from Breitbart. Donald Trump says coronavirus is a worse attack than Pearl Harbor or 9/11. Tell us, President Trump, who's responsible for 9/11? Oh, the Trump people aren't going to like that. China warns of possible armed conflict with the U.S. over coronavirus backlash. That's from Zero Hedge. We got U.S. Defense Secretary says China and Russia are using pandemic to put their interests forward in Europe. I'll put a link to this from the Globe and Mail. Belgium accuses China of bioespionage, a biological warfare program, and vaccine experts targeted. I'll put a link to this from Zero Hedge. We got Russia, Turkey, Iran agreed to remove Syria's Assad. Really now? That came out on May 4. Speaking of Iran, Trump vetoes resolution limiting his war powers on Iran. Is he able to do that? I'll put a link to this. I don't know. Venezuelan government claims it has repelled U.S. and coronavirus-backed invasion. U.S. and Colombia-backed invasion by boat on main port city. That was a big thing this week. They got a bunch of footage on that. We're trying to invade Venezuela. Rocket fire from Gaza and Israel. IDF tanks respond, hitting 3 Hamas positions. Put a link to this. A couple more in the World War III event. North Korea news. North and South Korea traded gunfire after Kim Jong-un reappears. That came out on May 3rd. And we had one more on North Korea. Apparently nearing completion of ballistic missile facility, report says. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news. Now I got it set up for 6+ for the past week. We had the 6th one out of Papua New Guinea. We had another one in the Banda Sea, Indonesia. It was a 6.8. That was a big one. 6.0. I'll put a link to the earthquake data. I didn't see too much on volcanoes this week. I do have a volcano story here. The hundreds of towering hydrothermal chimneys discovered on seafloor off of Washington. That came out 9 days ago from Life Science. Interesting stuff. AccuWeather says increases number of hurricanes predicted for very active 2020 Atlantic season. That's great on top of everything else. Air Force pilot confesses who does the chemtrailing and how they keep it secret. Why did California have 13 years of drought and fires from 2006 to 2019? That came out May 3rd from a website I don't know about, but it reminded me of a story from last year, seeing as Bill Gates' name is always in the news these days. Cloud dimming the sun. Could dimming the sun save Earth? Bill Gates wants to spray millions of tons of dust into the stratosphere to stop global warming. And just keep that in mind when they say this thing is spreading all over the world and they don't know how. People staying inside of suddenly coming down with this and that. Anyway, Trump signs executive order shielding nation's power grid from attack. Yes, a couple people who sent me this on Facebook brought up the North Korean EMP satellite up there. That's always in the back of my mind, too. We got terrifying moment. Murder hornet kills a mouse under 1 minute as the deadly insect enters the United States. They got just a video here that I would not recommend watching of this bee killing a mouse. Very disturbing. Giant murder hornet is in the U.S. to stay. Will eventually reach the East Coast, experts say. Dun 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 dun. That's coming for you. Comet Swan now visible to the naked eye from Earth. They got some stuff here. Updated article here from International Business Times. Surprise asteroid. Did you see this? Surprise asteroid evades Earth protection satellites in one of the closest flybys ever recorded. Now, those of you who are familiar with the JPL website know the condition code. The condition code on this thing was 8. The LD was 0. This was no bigger than a truck, however. If it did hit the Earth, it probably would have burned up on entry. This thing came so close to the Earth and nobody saw it coming. Astounding how close this thing was to the planet. Be advised, big rocks flying by. World's clearest picture of the moon's craters captured by Californian astrophotographer combining multiple lunar phases into one spectacular image. I got a really cool article here. Check out the moon. Put a link to that. And one more. Elon Musk declares he's selling almost all physical possessions because he's devoting myself to Mars and Earth. Get your ass to Mars. Over to strange and bizarre news. Got a lot of strange news this week. Coronavirus researcher on the verge of making significant findings. Killed in murder-suicide. Yeah, I bet. Meanwhile, over in Russia, 3 Russian doctors with COVID-19 mysteriously fall from hospital windows. Down an open elevator shaft, probably. KFC employee reportedly shot at customers following an argument in the drive-thru. Meanwhile, 2 McDonald's employees were shot after telling customers the dining room was closed due to COVID-19, police say. People are losing their minds. Man wears KKK hood while grocery shopping in California. That's just a really great idea. California man arrested 3 times in a single day, given citations released due to coronavirus restrictions. They're not arresting people. He's just breaking the law all over the place. You think he's going to show up to court later? I kind of doubt it. Video shows man wipe his nose on Dollar Tree worker's shirt after being asked to wear a mask. Well, that's not as bad as shooting the Dollar Tree worker, which happened here. Michigan security guard shot and killed after asking Family Dollar shopper to wear a mask. People are losing their minds everywhere, people. Drinking camel urine has made a comeback for coronavirus. I'll put a link to this. The Durka says camel urine will do it. Meanwhile, coronavirus found in the semen of young men with COVID-19. No knows. Put a link to that. San Francisco admits giving free alcohol and drugs to homeless hotel guests. Okay. Meanwhile, president's campaign reportedly ordering Trump-branded face mask for supporters. So when the Trump rallies return, everybody's going to be wearing "Make America Great Again" face mask. His narcissism never ceases to amaze me. I got a couple more. Actually, one more in the strange men. Woman with biggest lips in the world shows off huge new pout after 20th injection. What is wrong in your brain? For all of the news, please check my favorite videos. There's all kinds of fresh news over here. This lady's kid was taken away from her. This is over in the UK somewhere, I think. Deke Jackson made a great video. Good to see you, Deke. Put a link to that. We got robots doing recon and surveillance, running through the parks. Miami man freaks out because of mask rule. This Nazi Pelosi had a major malfunction on camera. That was hilarious. All kinds of stuff. Thank you to everybody who continues to put out content. Got some DimCat over there. All kinds of fresh news. Please check out my favorites. I got a couple of shout-outs this week. Shout out to the California sheriff. I refuse to make criminals out of business owners. Right on. That's been my question. Where are the sheriffs across this country? You know, your sheriffs have more power than anyone realizes. The sheriffs are the ones that could stand up and really push back against all this tyranny. We had Arizona sheriffs refuse to enforce stay-at-home order. Point to the Constitution. Right on. Shout out to the sheriffs that are starting to stand up. And shout out to the Plandemic Documentary, the hidden agenda behind COVID-19. Again, a video that didn't break any YouTube guidelines. I bookmarked probably 20 different channels, 20 different links where this documentary was uploaded on YouTube, and they have all been removed. Never fear, though, I will put a link to the BitChute. You definitely want to check this out if you haven't seen it. 26 minutes, all great information. Check it out. That's all I got for this week, guys. If you'd like to support, please give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. If you can suck this, the worst of YouTube, you never want to see again, please rate, though. It helps it move around. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Gab for updates through the week. I haven't been putting out a lot, but I'm going to get back to it sooner or later. You know, I just don't see a lot of breaking news through the day that it's all pretty much the same static stuff, so I'm not going to bother you with a tweet or a Facebook post unless it's something important. Also, please consider supporting me on Patreon or directly with PayPal, because this YouTube channel is 100% demonetized by YouTube. I'm just not commercially viable, you know. They'd rather promote all of the mainstream stuff. You know, YouTube used to be so great. It's still great because of the people that have stuck around, but as far as the YouTube they've really screwed us all over. So please support this channel if you can. If not, you can always follow me on Patreon for free. You can set up an account over there to be another place to follow me just in case this channel ever goes down. You'll always find me somewhere. That's all I got. What do you guys think's coming next week? I have no idea. You know, the market's kind of up and down. Not really a lot of stuff going on there. There's still talk of, you know, Comet Swan and Comet Atlas and all this stuff. I mean, I don't know, man. At any moment, things could break loose. Here we are in May. You know, some people predicted big stuff for May as far as the comet stuff goes. So we'll see what happens. But that's all I got for now. You guys take care, stay safe, take care of each other. I will see you on the next one.